What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about how much silver is enough silver, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Also subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, link in the description. And if you want to help support the channel by getting some DYDSS merchandise, of course we have a bunch of t-shirts and hoodies that have been up for grabs, but we just brought back the Stack and Don't Look Back t-shirt and hoodie, available in both silver and gold. And we just dropped the DYDSS Maple, which was obviously inspired by the Canadian maple leaf. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance, it's more than appreciated. But today I wanted to answer a subscriber's question. I was scrolling through some of the comments that I have been receiving on my last couple of videos, and this is what I like to do. I like to go through them and I like to answer questions in the form of a video. And anytime in the future, if somebody asks the question again, rather than typing out a long response or refilming the video, I can just direct them back to the video that I already filmed. It's something that I learned in business. It's better to have system dependency as opposed to sponsor dependency. But the question of the day is coming from Brian, and the question says, if you are a prepper, how much silver is enough? Now, it's actually a lot more than just that question right there. It's actually an entire paragraph, which I'm not going to read, but it suggests that from a prepper's perspective, maybe if you were to accumulate 183 ounces of silver, you'd be good to go having 1 ounce per day for a solid 6 months, or if you were to use 1 ounce every other day, it can last you an entire year. You know, for example, like buying food and things of that nature. Now, this is coming from a perspective that I personally do not really look at silver from. I like to think of silver as more of a wealth preservation, kind of like a long-term savings account, like a physical savings account. It's, you know, I believe it's safer in my possession as opposed to the bank's possession. That's why I do it, and also I know that the dollar bill is never going to increase in value. The dollar bill is never in a million years going to be worth $1.50. It's not possible. Doesn't work that way. Silver, on the other hand, right now it's worth about 18 bucks, but who knows, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, it's worth 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks. It's possible. It's happened before. So, in my opinion, I can say that I don't necessarily stack silver for the reason that you are talking about in your comment/question. However, I can go back to the first part where you said how much silver is enough. I personally don't believe that there is such a thing as having enough silver. I believe that silver is money at the end of the day. Is it possible to have enough money? Or have too much money? I don't think so. I don't believe that there is such a thing as having too much money. I don't believe such a thing exists. Having too much? I plan on stacking for the next couple of decades. When I'm getting ready to retire, I will switch up my strategy a little bit. Maybe supplement my retirement by selling off little portions of my stack at a time. But right now, I plan on stacking as much as I can, as aggressively as I can, and as frequently as I can for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Now, if you were to do this with $20 bills, as an example, every month you take a couple 20s, toss it in a safe. You do that for an entire year, you're probably going to have a couple $100. You do that for several years, you're going to have thousands of dollars. Longer than that, tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of 30, 40, 50 years of just tossing a couple 20s away. That's a pretty decent amount of money, if you think about it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even tens of thousands. That's a lot of money. Or should I say that's a lot of currency. Is it too much? Absolutely not. Not from my perspective, not in my opinion. However, at the end of the day, I do understand where you're coming from, how much is enough. For me personally, I could never get enough. But maybe for somebody who is stacking silver, more so from a prepper's perspective, I think it really depends on what you're prepping for. At the end of the day, we're all prepping and stacking for different reasons. So maybe somebody like you who used, I'm using your words here, 6 months to a year, maybe that's what you are primarily prepping for. Something that could occur that would last 6 to maybe 12 months, maybe a little bit longer or maybe a little bit shorter, but within that window. Somebody else out there might be prepping for something that could potentially last 5 to 10 years. Maybe they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years worth of food stored away. MREs, dehydrated or freeze-dried foods, canned soups and beans, stuff like that. And not just the food, it's also the medical equipment, first aid supplies, the water storage, home defense, the list goes on. There's many different ways to prep. But it all comes down to what you're prepping for. If you are somebody who's prepping for maybe not necessarily a big, major, massive SHTF borderline end of the world situation, that's a little bit different of a story. Or if you're somebody like me who's probably a little bit more focused on things that are likely to happen or things that have already happened in the past, like hurricanes or a tornado or a flood or a fire, something that's a little bit more realistic, a little bit more possible. Maybe you're only prepping for a shorter period of time, in which case it's up to you, and it's up to, you know, your expenses. It's up to how many people you're prepping for. If you're somebody like me who's prepping for yourself and your dog, it's a little bit different than having a wife and 3 kids. It's much different. I gotta prep for 1 person and a dog. Somebody who has an entire family might be prepping for, you know, maybe you're gonna prep the same way I'm prepping, but you have to quadruple what I'm doing just to stay afloat. So when it comes to money, when it comes to silver, when it comes to fiat, when it comes to cash, it all really depends on, from your perspective, what you think could happen or what you are prepping for. At the end of the day, stacking silver is prepping. It's financial prepping. So whether you're in it for the long term or whether you're doing it just as a safety or an emergency fund, it really depends. So in my personal opinion, I do not think that there's such a thing as having too much silver or too much money. I do not think there's such a thing as having enough silver or enough money, but maybe coming from a prepper's perspective, maybe due to the way you're prepping, there's no need to have an entire bedroom packed with bars of silver. So it really depends, and it's up to you and how you're prepping and what you're prepping for. So head on down to the comments, everybody watching this right now, and let me know how much silver you think is enough. Now, obviously, the answer for most of you is probably going to be, oh, there's never enough. I'm going to stack forever. Yeah, but from a prepper's perspective, how much money do you think is good to have stored away? And I'm not just talking about silver. I'm not just talking about gold. I'm talking about cash, fiat, currency. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoy the video, please hit the like button. If you guys like me, make sure to subscribe. New videos every single day, 365 days a year. Also, make sure to subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for weekly videos. Just posted 3 new silver and gold themed vlog style videos, a hidden camera pawn shop integrity test, and the brand new $15 lockbox mini safe product review. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. We got t-shirts and hoodies, a bunch of gear that's raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations. But we just brought back the Stack and Don't Look Back t-shirt and hoodie, available in both silver and gold, depending on your preference. And of course, the brand new DYDSS Maple, which was clearly inspired by the Canadian silver and gold maple leaf. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. And if anybody watching right now has a question for me, I'd be more than happy to dedicate an entire video to you and answering your question, so ask away in the comments. And also, please answer the question yourself. How much silver do you think is enough silver? From the prepper's perspective. And it's not just about silver. How much money, how much currency do you think is enough? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.